Good morning. It's early. It's so early that it is still dark outside. 6:30 this morning. And I had a little bit of like a restless night's sleep last night. It's really interesting to see um, the direct effect of not getting enough physical movement over the course of the day. Yesterday was cold and kind of dreary, and my kids and I sort of opted to stay inside for that reason. We set up a tent in the living room. I'm currently looking at that tent right now. And while we had a lot of fun, we didn't really move our bodies enough. And so last night I kind of was a little bit restless in my sleep and hoping that today things will be a little bit different outside so that we can all get out on our bikes and enjoy some fresh air and a little bit of nature and hopefully some slightly better sleep this evening. So, how are you all doing? How are you? I know that's a super big and loaded question. It's really like a huge question, and I know that it's something that changes for most of us, like from hour to hour, sometimes minute to minute, depending on what's going on in our immediate surroundings and with the people that we are surrounded by. This little bit of a check-in time is our time to really take a look, to really like feel into ourselves, to be kind and honest in our assessment of where we begin our day. And yeah, oh Jenny, I see that. Glad today is not yesterday. Sheesh. I hear you. I hear you. So I'm thinking that it might be nice for us to do a little bit of like gentle yoga for our neck, our shoulders, our face, our head to begin this morning so that maybe things can feel a little more easygoing today, a little more relaxed, and and hopefully for another good night's sleep. So let's just get started this morning by bringing our hands together, kind of folding our hands, and really squeeze the fingers tight. Squeeze them really tight into each other. Press the heels of your hands together. Really make that like little ball with your hands. And then we're going to flip the palms and just wake them up. Wake up the wrists a little bit. And let's move back and forth between those two places a few times, really squeezing the fingers together, like really squeeze them tight. And then flip those palms again. And let's just do that one more time. Yeah, bringing the palms back together, heels of the hands back together. Squeeze the fingers, squeeze them. And then press those palms out again. And we're going to lift those arms up and overhead just for a moment. Good. Feel the shoulders, and then if you can grab a hold of your elbows, grab a hold of your elbows, and let's just gently rock the elbows from side to side here. Okay, just a little something to kind of notice how the shoulders are feeling today. Last night I took a nice yin class with my teacher, Kelly Cam, who lives in New York. And while I was practicing, I noticed like, oh my God, my face is so scrunched up right now. All right, you can drop those arms down and we're just gonna hug around ourselves next. One elbow on top, fingertips around the upper back. Maybe you're rocking your head a little bit from side to side here, just moving really gently and slowly. So anyway, yeah, it was a kind of a wake-up call, like I spend time practicing in the mornings usually, but by the end of the day, oh my gosh, my face, my jaw, my shoulders, everything felt kind of tense. So it was really nice to have that space and time for a little bit of practice and awareness. Good, let's unwind those arms, open them up really wide. Really nice. And then let's cross the other arm over the top. So finding that hug around again, walking those fingertips around the upper back. You might drop your chin way into your chest and feel the back of the neck get a little bit of a stretch. Good. Just a few more deep breaths here. Good, and then open those arms up nice and wide again. Maybe the elbows are bent and you're lifting that chest up nice and high. And then let's round the upper back. Bring the hands together in front of you. Press those knuckles forward. Drop the head down. Good, and we'll return to something kind of neutral. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's take the head around in a few small circles here. Or maybe they're big circles or half circles. If looking up feels a little bit strange in your neck and your face, you might just keep your chin sort of connected to your chest. You're moving in that direction. Good. If you're taking those big circles, be sure to take them in both directions. And move slowly if possible. Good. Just a few more breaths with that little bit of neck movement. Good. And then let's bring our head back to neutral. Oh my hair is everywhere. Okay, and then a while ago, a woman who comes to the studio brought in a bunch of her vintage yoga books, and I was paging through them, and apparently pulling your hair is a yoga exercise. So we're all just going to kind of tug on our own hair this morning. Take your hands on either side of your head, grab a hold of your hair, and just gently tug it up. It doesn't have to be anything serious, right? It doesn't have to be painful, but just a little bit of like a gentle tug. It's funny how much tension we carry around in our scalps and we don't even know it. Right. Last night my teacher said something about, it's like our scalp is shrink wrapped to our head. Right, so a few moments here just to relieve some of that tension. If you are prone to getting headaches, tension headaches, this can be a really nice activity. And you might even like move around the back of the head and pull the hair at the base of the skull kind of up. Yeah. As you're doing this, take a few really deep breaths in through the nose. Maybe you're breathing out of the mouth if it makes sense to you. Wonderful. And then let's release our hair. Bring our hands back onto our knees. And let's take a couple of lion's breaths to start this day. So a big, smooth inhale through the nose. As you exhale, stick out your tongue, cross your eyes. 2 more. Awesome. And then just a couple more little head rolls here, little half circles, chin to the chest, releasing the muscles of the face. Awesome. Let's come back through to center, and I'm going to say out loud that I washed my hands pretty intensely this morning, and I'm thinking about a little bit of facial massage just for a moment. So if your hands are clean, if you feel comfortable touching your face, then you might join along with me. We're going to take our index and middle fingers right up to our third eye point and just give it a little bit of a massage. I always know when I'm feeling tense because, man, that big old, that big divot, that big wrinkle starts to get a little bit deeper. It starts to come out. So taking a little bit of time to kind of like de-stress your third eye point, right? Notice the muscles in your brow. Okay, how are they feeling? Are they feeling kind of knotty? Are they feeling kind of tense? And then let's take those fingers and move them across the forehead into the temples. You might hold there for a moment and then take those fingers and bring them up a little bit higher, move them across the forehead, pause at the temples for a moment. Good, and then the fingers move up the center of the forehead, up towards the hairline, and then come down and around the sides, back into the temples just for a moment. Good, and then fingertips down into the jaw here, where the top and bottom part of your jaw meet, TMJ, temporal mandibular joint. Good, and then take your thumbs and bring them along the bottom of the jaw. Fingers are kind of massaging the jawline here. What does that feel like? Good. Just a few more moments with your jaw. And then we're going to move to the ears and pull the lower ear down. Just kind of tug, little tug, nothing too serious, but just that gentle tug. What do your ear canals feel like this morning? Maybe that's not a question we ask ourselves frequently. But tugging on the ears really shines a little light on how our ears are feeling, how our jaw is feeling. Let's pull the ears out to the sides now just a little bit, grabbing along or grabbing a hold of the outside of the ear. And then we're going to pull our ears up just a touch too. Good. And let's move back down the ear. Good. All the way back down to the earlobe. Give them a little tug. Nice. All right, and then let's bring our hands to our heart, and we're going to practice a mudra this morning. We're going to practice Shakti mudra, which is all about life force energy. So Shakti is kind of like chi. It's this idea that we have energy flowing through us. It flows through everything. And this is a way for us to help connect to that life force energy and maybe even to build it up a little bit. This is a mudra of ease, but also empowerment. So we're going to begin by taking the thumbs and bringing them across the hand, and then just fold your index and middle finger over your thumb. Okay, and then we're going to take the ring finger and connect the ring finger pads. We're going to take the pinkies and connect their pads, and then you're also going to connect the knuckles of the index and middle fingers. You want to spread the pinky and ring finger out nice and wide, and we're just going to hold this up in front of the heart here. And let's just settle in. If your shoulders feel like crunched up, or if your face is doing something kind of severe, see if you can find a little bit more ease in those muscles, all those muscles that we just moved and stretched a little bit. Good. And if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, then allow them to come to a close. And for just a little while here, listen to the sound of your breathing. What does your breath sound like today? What does it feel like today? And just know that your breath, the air that you take in and release, the way that you breathe directly affects this life force energy. So another few moments worth of noticing how things are naturally for you this morning. Good. Holding on to this mudra or hand gesture, let your belly really relax here. And let's see if we can move our breath way down low into the bottom parts of our lungs, moving the diaphragm down a little bit and expanding that low belly outward on the inhale. As you exhale, feel the low belly draw in towards the spine. Really squeeze the breath from the lungs. Breathing in and out of the nose if you can. That really helps to calm the nervous system. Thinking about taking these big full breaths here, as big as you can make them without being super forceful, you know? Just finding your natural lung capacity here. Every time I take a deep breath and try to focus in on the lung capacity, I kind of surprise myself. It's like, wow, I had no idea I had that much space, that much room to breathe. So, especially if your breathing has been feeling kind of shallow or kind of constricted, see if you can bring those breaths way, way, way down into the bottoms of the lungs. Expand that belly way out, expand the sides of the rib cage out. And then we'll take about another 15 deep breaths or so. Good. And you can stay right here with Shakti mudra for just a little while longer as I read a poem. Or if you would like, you could release the hands, set them down in your lap, give your shoulders a little wiggle. Eyes could stay closed, or you could open them if that feels right to you. Okay, and this is a poem by Hafiz, who was alive in the 1200s, and it's called Now is the Time. Now is the time to know that all you do is sacred. Now, why not consider a lasting truce with yourself and God? Now is the time to understand that all your ideas of right and wrong were just a child's training wheels to be laid aside when you finally live with veracity and love. Hafiz is the divine envoy whom the beloved has written a holy message upon. My dear, please tell me, why do you still throw sticks at your heart and God? What is it in that sweet voice inside that incites you to fear? Now is the time for the world to know that every thought and every action is sacred. This is the time for you to compute the impossibility that there is anything but grace. Now is the season to know that everything you do is sacred. So from our practice to cooking breakfast to doing our work to interacting with those around us, everything we do is sacred. Thank you so much for meditating with me this morning, for practicing your practice, your mudras. And I will see you again on Friday morning. I'm going to be doing this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So see you on Friday morning, and look for an email and an announcement on here for some upcoming live classes on Zoom. Annie Siegel will be contributing slow flow and meditation on Saturday mornings. And I'll have all of those details up in the next day or two. So I'm really excited you are here. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.